So that's it. I'm the third time talk so sorry. Oh, it's good. Yeah. So
See, do it again. I've told her when she's ready, she should come.
Hi ZZ Nation, how are you all doing? Welcome back to our channel. It's your girl Aidan Williams. How are you all doing? Hope you guys are good. Hope you guys are fine. If you're new to this channel, kindly click on the subscription button. Click on the notification bell to let you know whenever I post any new video. Okay guys, so you all know a lot has been happening with your favorite ex-BBnaija, ex-BBTitan housemates, and in this video I am going to be bringing you up to speed with everything that has been happening with them. Yes, so first we start on a good note. So your face were on TV again, and I'm talking about Beauty Tukura of the Level Up season and Prince Wakibeya 1 of the lockdown season. They joined the OG himself, Ebuka, on his show Robin Minds. It was actually beautiful seeing them, yes, because I've been seeing the clips all over social media, even though unfortunately I wasn't able to watch. That's sad. Anyways, they were not the only ex-BBnaija housemates that were on our screens. Some days, I think that was yesterday, Unusual Fina, the winner of Level Up season, and Helnis were also on the Nancy Esime show. And guess what? They gave them a puzzle to solve. Like, Fina and puzzle are like water and oil, they don't mix. But something about that show or interview actually went viral today. Now, I'll have you know that that show or that program was recorded I think that was last year or so. Yes, and it was shown yesterday. Well, something Fina said caught a lot of people's attention. It was where Fina was talking about her background in a story we all know too well if you have been watching from the Level Up season. She talked about how she was given to her auntie at the age of 3, and she practically started working, in the bar, even at that age, serving, especially men and all that. Now, this story, like I told you earlier, has gone viral with a lot of people calling Fina liar and all that. Now, for those of us who have been hearing the story of hers from the Big Brother house, it's actually it doesn't sound like a lie to us, and it's actually quite believable. I mean, looking at Nigeria, it's unfortunate that Nigeria is a country where child labor is a thing. Yeah, and I don't even want to go into it anyways. But that's that about, the program, the Nancy Esime show. Now, away from that, let's go into some BBTitan gist. So, Thabang shippers have been working overtime. I remember there was a time, I think last 2 weeks or so, that Kosi actually put out a cryptic message, but not too cryptic for us, where she was like, there's a particular ship that has been, working overtime. And of course, I know it's the Thabang shippers because I've seen pictures of them saying they're organizing a wedding and all whatnot. Like Delu Pro Max, they have refused to accept that there is no ship. Well, I think Thabang's refusal to accept their gifts this time around is like the final nail to the coffin. Now, this is the email that Thabang sent to one of their representatives rejecting the gift. I'll read. He says, thank you for reaching out. I appreciate the effort you, together with your community, have put into raising these funds. Unfortunately, I am not available due to varying factors outside my control. I've taken some time to think about your previous communication and came to the conclusion that, given the many things that have transpired since my time in the house, I would like to express that although I greatly appreciate the gesture, I am not necessarily comfortable accepting the gift. Therefore, I would like to humbly decline. I would like to request that you donate them to a MPO. I think that's a non-profit organization, such as Abraham Creel, to try to benefit someone in desperate need of the money. I would also like to apologize for any inconvenience caused and extend my sincerest gratitude. I hope you will understand. Kind regards, always Thabang, and then his surname, which I can't pronounce. Like, this is very commendable. I wish more ex-housemates, will come out and do this instead of leading the fans on, making them think that, okay, there's, something going on. Meanwhile, there is nothing going on. Well done, Thabang. Thabang fans, I'm sure you guys are so proud of your fave. Yes, guys, now going from a fan base that is proud of their fave to a fan base that has been put into the defense mode tonight, we are going to be talking about Sheggz, Big Sheggz himself. Now, Sheggz has gotten himself in a little bit of a scandal, if I might say so. Now, this startup firm decided to drag Sheggz, stating that Sheggz dealt fraudulently with them rather. And this is what they put out. I won't be wasting much of your time. I will just go into reading what this person wrote. He said, Noblesse oblige didn't die with Balsac, or how Uptown Big Brother housemate Shegun Olusegun acted like a trenches crook. Here goes. Upon hearing about him for the first time on the timeline of one of his stands and pitching him to my team, I'd emailed Sheggz on the 16th of June. The offer to him was become a partner and brand ambassador in exchange for cash and equity. Got a call from him 1 hour after the email to say he was interested and wanted to learn more. Excited, I told him I'll discuss with the team and revert in a bit. The offer was 500,000 naira plus equity. We went back and forth and I told him the best we could do was 1 million plus 10% equity. As we had decided we could no more accept the 2 million, and as a Thursday, 22nd June, I told him if he was going to accept that offer, then we could end talks, and I thanked him for his efforts and his faith. This is when trouble started. Sheggz got back to me the next day and said because he really believed in the startup, he would help us in this way. He would lie to his management that we paid 2 million naira since the money was coming to him. All he needed me to do was send an extra 1 million naira to be returned. Same day, within hours. When I delayed, Sheggz bombarded me with calls and even threatened to block me over the delay. Do note that at this point, Sheggz had already been paid 1 million naira and we had not had any meeting nor executed any contract per his insistence. Finally sent him the money around 4:30 p.m. after getting him to promise in writing, luckily reason later, that he'll return the money in what's supposed to be within 2 to 3 hours. Sheggz said he was waiting outside his manager's home office, can't remember, didn't tell him the delay was because I was trying to borrow money from a dear friend. Just told him the money was from our reserves and absolutely needed to be returned in the night. We would later have our first meeting that evening with his manager unexpectedly absent. At the end of the meeting, I walked with Sheggz to his car to remind him we are long past when he promised to send the money back, but that it was fine and he could just do it in my presence, so I sent it back. Sheggz explained he is in a hurry and his battery is low. He needs 30 minutes. As I watch him drive off, my confidence level departs with him. It's past 11 p.m. now, and I had promised the dear friend who borrowed me the money heaven and earth that it will be back before midnight. To ensure no delay with forwarding the money, I wait behind at the car park of a co-hotels where we'd had the meeting. My partner in the meeting, Kiki, had left and sadly she'd get robbed that night at the Unilag area because it was so late already, further making the night miserable for me as I felt partly responsible. And that's not all. He also went on to put out this public service announcement which says, this is a public service announcement. Be wary of dealing with Mr. Shegun Cheks Olusegun at Sheggz Olu. They tagged him with their full chest. I'm making this post to share my very bitter experience working with Sheggz so others don't fall into the same mess that has threatened to destroy my startup and my mental health. Mr. Sheggz or Mr. Olusegun is a sociopath, a manipulator, a serial liar, an extortioner, a dishonorable person, and the worst thing that can happen to a young startup. Details can be found in the quoted thread above. That is, the one I read previously. As one who has a top lawyer as an investor, I've been extremely circumspect in choosing those terms due to the associated defamatory risk if I'm unable to back them up with hard facts. I had to put out that thread earlier to warn the public and openly ask for a refund as his team was being unresponsive, but his team appealed that I take it down, and also have my concerned friends who helped share the public service announcement to also take down their tweets, promising that Mr. Olusomo would behave better going forward with 500,000 naira of the 1.5 million refunded. Sadly, things have become worse since then, leading me to conclude that Mr. Olusemo and his team are not sincere in their vows to turn a new leaf. I have therefore taken it as my responsibility to warn other unsuspecting members of public about Mr. Olusemo's despicable ways. I would have to go back to the police to inform them that he failed to keep his promise to refund 1.5 million naira on the 10th of July. Possibly because Mr. Olusemo doesn't tell them the truth, as he is wont to doing. Mr. Olusemo's team has engaged in intimidation tactics to try to silence with one who claims to be a representative of Mr. Olusemo's father, threatening to illegally weaponize the police. They tag the police here to lock me up, and ultimately calling me a madman for warning the public, resulting in his getting blocked on WhatsApp. Mr. Olusemo and his team have engaged in a strange, sustained campaign to make me think I'm mad. It'd be hilarious if it weren't so depressing, given that my startup is slowly dying daily due to this needlessly protracted issue. All I have said is that Mr. Olusemo should return the money paid to him, and for that, I am a mad person, in quotes, to be arrested. These are the people that give a bad name to the patriotic and hardworking men and women of the police. They tag the police here again, doing the thankless job of maintaining law and order, essentially for a society to function. I don't say this because my late dad was a policeman, so from illegal detection threats to threats to sue me for defamation and whatnot by Mr. Olusemo's lawyer, Barrister Adeboye Ademiluyi, who seems a decent counsel but is allowing Mr. Olusemo mislead him into taking steps that make him look like a quack. Mr. Olusegun's proclivity for telling needless lies at center of disdain with which his team considers me and the contempt my own team has for him. He most recently lied to his dad's rep that he never agreed to return that 1 million same day. Days later, he will go on to repeat the lie to me and even worse, tell me that he doesn't give a F, that the relationship I had with a person that loaned me 1 million naira and who could vouch for me to the tune of 100 million naira suffered a major downgrade as a result of his fraudulent action. The most mean thing anyone could say to me, and confirming that he was never sincerely remorseful for his actions that day, thereby fully matching the textbook definition of a sociopath as can be seen in the screenshots. It is for this reason, alongside a myriad others, that my team has repeatedly asked that we cancel plans to have him as a partner on the project. Can't blame them. No startup in the world can ever have any shot at success with a partner that behaves as patently toxic as Mr. Olusemo, which is why I feel the need to make this public announcement in the interest of the members of the public who wish to do business with Mr. Olusemo, especially with a view of gaining customers. Partnering Mr. Olusemo, fondly known as Big Sheggz by his teaming fans, is no doubt a veritable means to grow a venture, but he has got serious character problems which he himself can't seem to help. And so caution should never be thrown to the wind. Do very thorough due diligence lest they end up in the same deadly poison chalice situation as my poor startup. Good luck. He also went on to say, "Dear Sheggz, you have gone from lying brazenly to your dad's self-styled rep that you never agreed to return the 1 million naira that night, to declaring sociopathically that you don't care that your fraudulent action messed up my relationship with a dear friend, to the latest one now." So like that's a lot. I've actually felt like I'm a newscaster at some point. But anyways, the summary of this whole thing is that this person, who is actually the owner of a dating app, which Coincidentally, Sheggz posted on the 7th of July, which is actually the date that they said that they were begging Sheggz to post by 5 p.m., but he refused to post unless they give him 500,000 naira. Yikes. So basically what they're saying is Sheggz had an agreement with him to for them to pay him 1 million naira, which they agreed. But because of his team, he said, okay, you know what? Give me 2 million naira. I'll return 1 million naira back to you. I wonder who does that kind of a deal in the business world. But that, according to him, is what happened. Now, after some time, I think 2-3 hours, Sheggz was supposed to return the money back, which he didn't. And that spiraled into this whole thing that we are seeing now on social media. And he's calling Sheggz out, also saying that the police have been informed that even at some point a representative of Sheggz' dad was involved. Sheggz' lawyer was involved and he was being intimidated. They said they're going to call the police on him and all that. So he decided to put out, apart from the thread of narrating everything that happened on Twitter, he also put out a thread telling the public and whatever businesses that want to do business with Sheggz to desist from doing so, as he is not to be trusted, as he will go back on his word and he is not somebody that has integrity. This is a very serious matter because this is not some kind of gist. This is something that this person is saying with their full chest, and from everything this person has written here, it looks like this person has something to support this, and Sheggz or no member of Sheggz team or Sheggz himself has come out to put out a statement to clarify what exactly is going on, because as it is right now, it looks bad and it's very sad if this is true. And because we've not really heard from Sheggz or any member of his team, we are just going to be leaving it at that. And at this point, I'm going to be asking you guys, what are your thoughts on this? Let me know what you think in the comment section. If they are going to put out, or not even if, when they are going to put out a statement, I expect them to put out a statement with facts and not just, blah, 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 like Big Brother people will always do. Because for me, this is Sheggz' brand now. It's not just about Sheggz himself. It's about Sheggz' brand. It's about Sheggz' dad's reputation, because right now we are saying they are bullying him, saying that they are going to be intimidating him with the police. It's the police reputation at stake now. Is the lawyer's reputation at stake now. So this is actually quite serious. And I don't think this is beyond, let me just say this is beyond Big Brother bans. That's what I think about it. So I'm awaiting the response from Sheggz and his team, obviously, and I pray and hope that they come with facts, because only facts will cancel whatever it is that this guy has said. Not sentiments, but facts.